Good evening, football fans, and welcome to NIC-10 High School Football here on Clutch Sports Media 815. From Thunderberg Memorial Stadium at Belvidere High School, I'm Trevor Larson alongside my partner for this evening, Nate Green, as we're getting set for the opening week here on State Line. Nate, we're just a few moments away from game time, so we'll do a real quick introduction to both these teams. Two teams last season went in a bit of a different direction. Guilford Vikings coming off a 7-2 season, their best season in nearly a decade, while the Belvidere Bucs finished the season at 0-9. These two teams met last season in the opening week as well. Guilford prevailed by a score of 32-0. So Nate, if you just want to give us a few thoughts on both these teams before we kick off here tonight.
Well, Guilford's coming off one of their best seasons in probably around a decade. Coach Capriotti's done a great job of getting the kids committed to the weight room. They've really bought in and talking to them over the summer. They got a lot of younger guys coming up who are great athletes. If they can keep the quarterback protected with the offensive line this year, I think they're going to have a great year.
Yeah, and then for the Bucs, again, we mentioned they're coming off an 0-9 season, but things might be going on the positive. Coach Tony Ambrosio really got this program in high spirits, and they look across the sideline. They see a team that had just won a total of 3 games their last 2 full seasons in Guilford. So if there's anyone to look at for an example, it might be the squad sitting across from you here tonight.
Yeah, Coach Ambrosio does a great job as far as building a school and a team's culture. He'll be able to get them there. He just needs a little more time. I know he's doing a great job getting the kids focused and bought into his program expectations.
Officials have readied the ball for kick. 2 men back for Belvidere. Guilford kicking off to the Bucs. Kick is away. It's going to be on the turf, and it is going to be taken in by Belvidere down around the 40-yard line. So a bit of a pseudo onside, maybe a swib. Not quite sure what the Guilford special teams unit was doing there, but Belvidere will be set up with great field position to start off this game. 1st and 10 from the 40.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bucs. All resting at their own 41-yard line.
Belvidere getting set to go to work behind quarterback Gunnar Varenma. We'll see what this Guilford defense can do in response to this very young Belvidere offense. And Nate, while we got a few seconds before we get going here, this game is very hot. 85 at game time, pretty humid. Of course, the last 2 games very, very hot. So we'll see if some of these conditions might affect these players here tonight.
Yeah, hopefully these guys hydrated up the last couple days to prepare.
So here's Vanaruma in the shotgun. 1 running back to his left, 4 receivers, 2 in the slot to the right. Now shift in towards the line. That's Jason Dean shifting over to the left side of the formation. Quarterback takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off. That is number 8. He is going to be wrapped up in the backfield, and he pitches it backwards. A risky play that time by the running back. That's Juan Cervantes. And Belvidere are lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on what could have been a disastrous play if Varenma didn't hold on to that ball.
I tell you what, there's a lot of speed on that Guilford team this year.
2nd and 10 now. Ball spotted at the 41, not the 40 as previously mentioned. Guilford going with a 3 down front, 4 linebackers, and a couple of deep safeties. About 9 yards deep here. Varenma in the shotgun once again. Motion man is number 11. He's going to take the ball. That's outside. He stiff arms a man, and he tries to run over, but a good tackle there towards the perimeter as Villarreal could not get any space onto the outside. Just 1 yard gain on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
Jackson. There's a gain of 1. 3rd and 9.
Ball spotted on the left hash. Varenma getting the call in from the sideline. 3rd and 9 here. Tough situations for the Bucs. Started with good field position, trying to capitalize on it. Don't want to give the ball over to these Viking players. It's time for Varenma in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left. Number 5 in motion. That's Dean. Varenma takes the ball, hands it to Dean, and he is absolutely torn up in the backfield. 5-yard tackle for loss on 3rd down, and that's going to bring up 4th. And the Bucs are going to be forced to punt this ball away.
It looks like number 50, senior Javion Scott on the tackle.
Tackle made by number 50, Jason Scott.
Great play that time by Scott, who was in the backfield right away. Belvidere trying some wrinkles in their offense, some motion men. Guilford looks like they are keyed on that play. early here tonight. Ball spotted on the 41. Now Belvidere running in one man from the sideline. That's Lennox Talentio. And looks like the Bucs are going to be forced to waste a timeout. Their head coach is not happy with the special teams unit. At his players on the sideline. So, Nate, a tough start for this Belvidere squad on offense. Couple of negative plays, almost a fumble. They were able to hold on, but if you're the Bucs, you really got to get going a little bit faster if you're going to compete with this Viking squad that we saw had a pretty good offense last season.
Yeah, it looks like if this Guilford team can control that line of scrimmage, there's a lot of speed in the backers and the backs. It's going to be a struggle for them to get the ball up the field.
One other component to this game, as we mentioned again, the conditions very hot tonight and very, very hot the past 2 nights. This game, of course, was scheduled for yesterday, now being played on a more traditional high school football night, Friday. Nate, as a coach, as a player, that can really throw you off if you're looking forward to a game all season or all off season long, and then all of a sudden you got a delay. Ball is snapped. This is Varenma looking to punt the ball away. Bit of an Australian-style punt, and that one's going to go out of bounds, waiting for the official mark. Right around the 39, now the 40-yard line. So give him 23, 24 yards on that punt. And Guilford will be set up with good field position for their first offensive possession of the season.
1st and 10.
Again, ball spotted on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 for this Viking squad. Coming off a very strong season in which they made the playoffs just a season ago. They're going to be under center here. We'll get you a number on the quarterback as soon as we can make it out. Motion man from the left, number 17, takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to the up-back.
J.R. Hansard.
Nice. Looks like, Hansard on the carry, number
20.
Number 20.
Gregory Hansard, the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 11, Antonio.
Hansard, a senior multi-sport athlete. He's got a lot of speed.
It's a gain of 6.
Nice run there on first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 4. Looks like number 17 under center. That's Malachi Butler, a junior. Again, in that tight formation, 4 receivers all packed tight, 1 halfback. Butler takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off once again to Hansard. Got a flag on the play. Hansard tripped up just shy of the first down marker. We'll see what the call is. Gained 3 yards on that run. Might be a hold.
There's a flag on the play.
Official conferring, and yes, indeed, it is a hold. So that'll back Guilford up 10 yards. Replay 2nd down. And, those runs to the outside, those wide offensive lines, some of your tight ends, receivers, you really want to hold that block. Sometimes you get caught.
Yeah, just can't shoot yourself in the foot.
So after the nice first down play, what looked to be a good 2nd down run, instead it'll be 2nd and 12 here on the 38-yard line. The Belvidere going with 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Butler once again under center. Same formation, 2 receivers on either side, 1 tailback. Butler takes a snap. Play action, rolls out to the right. He's got pressure in his face, shakes off a tackler. Now rolling out to the right, and he's going to slide down around the 42-yard line. Looking for some laundry. He won't get it from the officials. Nice play that time by Butler to save about a 7 or 8 yard sack, and instead he'll pick up 4 yards and set him up with a 3rd and 7.
Well, they haven't aired it out yet. Let's see if they consider putting it in the air. They got a lot of speed and some young guys on the outside.
Good pressure from the outside. That was number 8, Cervantes. Saw him on offense, also playing defense here. Guilford now 3 receivers to the left. Butler takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the marker. Going to spot the ball around the 48-yard line. Nice run, but it's going to bring up 4th and 2 right around midfield. We'll see what the Vikings want to do here.
Looks like they're going hurry up.
It'll be 4th and 2.
Butler getting the calls from the side, then they're going to stay in shotgun. 3 receivers to the left. Butler and Hansard in the backfield. Butler takes a snap, hands the ball off. Excuse me, that's number 7. That's Chris Porter. And he makes a nice move to the left, and he breaks through up to the 46-yard line, and a first down for the Vikings.
Great push by the offensive line there of G-Vikes.
And that was Chris Porter on the carry, the sophomore running back. First time we've seen him in the ball game here today. Vikings working very quickly on offense. Looks like Butler's got good control of this offense so far. 3 receivers to the left once again. Butler takes a snap, swing pass off to the left, hit immediately, and a nice tackle that time by number 5, Jason Dean. Read that swing play spectacularly and dropped the receiver back for a 4-yard loss.
Messiah Tilson on the catch.
Good play that time by Dean, the two-way player. Had a carry earlier in the ball game, this time making an excellent play on defense. We're going to say a loss of 3. Ball spotted just a yard ahead of the midfield marker. Looks like the 41-yard line is the yard to gain. Butler in the shotgun, 2 receivers either side, takes a snap, rolling out to the left, to the right. He's going to throw this one down to number 2. That is LaDainian Hoffman.
There goes some
makes
speed.
A move. And finally, no, still going,
fighting.
Still going. Strong legs that time by Hoffman, able to drag a couple of tacklers all the way down inside the 30 to the 26. Great catch and run that time by the senior wide receiver. I'm going to say ball officially spotted on the 27. As Guilford has got some momentum here now after the big play, looking to punch it in and open the scoring up for themselves here in the ball game. Butler takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. This time it is number 8, and he's met in the backfield a couple of times. Isaiah Primus on the carry. Couldn't get anything, but it looks like we do have a flag on the field. Isaiah Primus. Waiting for the call from the official. It's going to be an illegal formation, I believe. Looks like they did not have all 11 men set. It looks like their tight end off the left side of the formation that time.
I think he shuffled his feet a little quick there, yep.
So a negative play, but it looks like Belvidere will take the penalty, and it's going to bring the ball all the way back to the 37-yard line. Still first down here for this Viking offense. Butler in the shotgun. This time 2 receivers on either side, both in tight off the left. Man in motion is number 23, Tilson. And we've got another flag as Tilson's still going. Oh, a little bit of extracurricular that time by the Belvidere Bucs. No flag on that. We'll see what the call is out towards the right hash.
Another hold.
Another hold. That's another penalty we've seen here today, Nate. You know, it is. And now it looks like we've got a bit of a scuffle on the sideline. Tempers flaring here early in the season. A little bit of frustration, perhaps. A couple of penalties. You know, early in the season, you're prone to more penalties. You know, some of these guys are just now making their debut on the varsity squad.
Yeah, you know, you spent the last 2 weeks hitting the same teammates over and over. You finally get a chance to hit somebody else and get a little reckless.
Yeah, emotions are running a touch high, especially in the weather as it is. Temperatures hot. Tempers get hot. Still waiting for it looks like they might be calling another penalty, waiting to see from the officials. Guilford's ready to go, but all 3 men converging out around the 35-yard line here. Not quite sure what they're discussing. Of course, we don't have a microphone on the refs. We'll see what they call here at the end of the play and maybe some of those extracurricular activities.
And we got all 4 of the refs in there, so.
Holding against Guilford.
We're going to have, looks like, offsetting personal fouls, I believe.
I don't think they got Guilford for a personal. I think they just got Belvidere.
I think you're right. They did make the personal call. So official walking the ball upfield. It's going to be spotted at the 26-yard line.
Be a first down for the G-Vikes.
Referees giving the coaches explanations. I'm sure neither of them are too happy with the number of penalties that have been called so far here in tonight's ball game. As it stands, we'll get ready to resume play here as Guilford's set up in the shotgun. Once again, 3 receivers off to the left. 1 man tight towards the right side of the formation. That is number 26, Jordan Lopez. Butler in the shotgun, takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to number 8. That's Primus once more. Nice head of steam that time. We'll see if they give him enough for the first down. I believe they'll spot him about a half a yard short, but about a 10-yard run on first down for Primus.
Isaiah Primus, another 3-sport athlete, just a real go-getter.
Say 2nd and 1 here from the 23-yard line. Guilford knocking on the door to the red zone. Once again, shotgun formation, 2 receivers either side for Butler. And the shotgun takes a snap. This time there's pressure up the middle. It's number 54. That is Chris Porter, who took the handoff, got hit immediately, able to shake a couple of tacklers. And they will give him enough for a first down to around the 21-yard line. Be a fresh set of chains.
Tackle made by Cervantes.
Waiting for the, yes, indeed, it will be a fresh set of downs here for the Vikings. A little bit of delay that time by the chain gang, as they're called.
First and 10 for the Vikings.
Number 20, Hansard, checking back in at running back.
16-yard line.
Butler getting the call in from the sideline.
I tell you what, Trevor, Butler's been really impressive for his first drive, first start of the season. Really held his composure. They've had about a 10-minute drive now.
Indeed they have. This time he's under center. And looks like we are going to have another flag. This time the ball is going to be handed off to 20. That is Hansard. And he is all the way down to around the 2-yard line. But this one is going to be coming back. 2 guys moving on the line of scrimmage that time for the Vikings.
Another illegal motion.
So, you know, Nate, early in the season, again, we've mentioned a couple of penalties, but those pre-snap penalties, you know, you're never going to eliminate them. But first week of the season, okay, 1 per drive is maybe okay. You can't have him 2, 3, 4 per drive.
Yeah, it's getting a little high up there. You expect some hiccups week 1, but those pre-snap penalties are more mental, so G-Vikes really need to focus in here.
So ball all the way back to the 21-yard line, 1st and 15. Line to gain is around the 8. This time Butler going back under center in that tight formation. Motion man from the left. This time is going to be handed off. That is Hansard once again. Swarmy defense for the Bucs. A couple of nice moves by Hansard to make that a positive play. And we'll give him about 4.5 yards on that first down carry.
Tackle made by Alvarez.
Even though it's 4.5, he made something out of nothing right there. They had him dead to rights in the backfield.
This Buck team has been swarming on defense to those run plays, but some nice moves here so far in this game by Guilford's running backs. We'll see if that keeps up as the game winds on. Butler once again under center, tight formation once again. Takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. No, he pulls it out. Play action to the left.
Oh.
Pressure in his face that time by Cervantes. Nice play that time by the pass rush for the Bucs, forcing that incompletion and a man wide open in the flat.
Messiah Tillman wide open in the flat. Just overshot him a little bit, maybe a little bit too excited, put a little bit extra on it.
Good read of that play by the two-way player, the sophomore Cervantes, who was able to read that play action from the get-go, get right in the quarterback's face. And that's going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Vikings. 3.5 minutes left to go here in quarter number 1. Butler's going to take the snap. Motion man, a little bit of confusion it looked like. He's trying to make something out of nothing. He jukes a man, and he makes a very nice run out of what could have been a yard loss, but only 5 yards on that 3rd down carry, and that's going to bring up 4th down. We'll see what the Vikings coaching staff wants to do here. It almost looked like a busted play that time. 2 guys were expecting to get that ball.
Yeah, another one of those week 1 mistakes, more than likely. Knowing Coach Capriati, they're likely going to go for it here.
Indeed, it looks like they will as Butler gets the call from the sideline. First drive of the game for Guilford has been a long one, about 7.5 minutes of game time, much longer in real time, as Butler is going to be lined up in shotgun. 3 receivers off to the left, number 8 in the backfield. That's Primus. Butler takes a snap, looking to the left. He's got him to the outside, and a nice catch right around the first down marker. I don't think he got it, however, as the Bucs defense is going to make a stand in the red zone, and we'll see. Waiting for the official spot from the referee.
About a yard short.
And it will be a turnover on down. So a nice play by the defensive back group for the Bucs as they are able to force the turnover on downs, and now they've got a shot to respond in kind.
Yeah, that's a great defensive stand for the first possession of the season for Belvidere.
So last drive stalled for the Bucs. We'll see if they've got a couple of new wrinkles they want to work in here on this drive. As we are winding down the first quarter, about 2.5 minutes left to go here in the first period of action. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media 815 for our Week 1 broadcast. Again, here at Belvidere High School, Funderburg Memorial Stadium. Belvidere and Guilford squaring off here in the opening week of the season here on the state line.
Good showing tonight from the Bucs faithful. Got a good crowd.
Bucs lining up once again. This is Varenma in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 right, tight end as well. Ball is skipped, and a good play that time by Varenma, who's able to fall on that ball. And once again, Nate, we've mentioned it for the Guilford side. We saw it now on the Belvidere side, but one of those, I wouldn't call that a pre-snap penalty, but that's definitely some Week 1 rust.
Yeah, you wonder if the heat has anything to do with it, but both teams are playing under the same conditions.
We'll see if these teams can tighten things up as we move along throughout the game. Belvidere getting into the huddle. And a couple of men here from the sideline into the huddle now. Varenma's getting the call from the sideline.
If the first 2 drives are any indication, it is going to be a night on the ground for both teams.
Here's Varenma in the shotgun. 3 receivers off to the left, 1 running back in the backfield with the quarterback. Varenma takes a snap. He's got pressure in his face. This one's going to be thrown and almost intercepted by 2 of the Guilford defenders. Pressure in Varenma's face right away. And that could be a costly mistake for Guilford, unable to capitalize on that poor throw.
Right through the hands of Kevion Jackson.
I'd say 2 guys actually had the shot at intercepting that one. The first one on the throw, second one off the deflection. We can't fault him for that one, but that one went right through the defender's hands.
Just a good old-fashioned tip drill.
So perhaps a break for Belvidere, as now we are 3rd and 13, still backed up deep in their own territory. Ball spotted on the 9-yard line. We'll see if the Bucs can break a big play and get themselves out of trouble. Don't want to be punting the ball from this deep in your own end.
You wonder if the Vikes bring a little pressure here.
We'll see what the Guilford coaching squad has in store here. And before that, we are going to have a penalty on Guilford, I believe.
Timeout. Belvidere.
Oh, they're going to say a timeout. So looks like they might have been set up for a delay game. Instead, coaching staff gets a timeout in. They will not give up the 4.5 or so yards. Still 3rd and long.
That's another one of those early in the season, struggling to figure out right formations, guys in and out. It's going to cost you getting those timeouts out of here in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely you don't want to burn them, but at the very least it is the first half. Second half timeout's a little bit more important. Anyways, Nate, so our first game of the season, we mentioned it a little bit at the top, but this Guilford squad, they had one of their best seasons in basically a decade since I was in high school. They went 7-3 in the regular, or 7-3, 7-2 in the regular season. Unfortunately, they could not pull out a victory in their playoff game. But after a couple of years of 1 win, 2 win, no wins, this team really took a big step last year, impressed on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Coach Capriati has done a great job changing the culture over there. They've really bought into that weight room, and you can see it on Friday nights.
And it looks like they do have quite a big roster, bigger than I am used to in the past couple of years. So a lot of good players out for this Viking squad. Here is Belvidere. This one's going to be taken and handed off up the middle. This is number 8. That is Cervantes, Gets a little bit of yardage, makes the punt a little bit more manageable, but just 3 or 4 yards on the carry. Ball set up at the 15-yard line, and it's going to be 4th and 9. Belvidere forced to punt for the second time in the game.
Hansford will be back for the G-Vikes again. We'll see if they kick it his way or go out of bounds again.
.45 seconds left here to go in the first quarter. It's been a bit of a sloppy game, as could be expected with the heat and being week 1 of the season. Both teams certainly looking to sharpen up here in the second quarter and throughout the game. But before that, we're going to have another penalty. Looks like it's going to be a delay of game on Belvidere.
Delay of game.
Yes, indeed, it'll be a delay of game. So another penalty for these Bucs. That'll back them up 5 yards. And at the very least, Nate, you know, when you're this far back, maybe those 5 yards are not as costly as making sure you have your personnel correct. Punter back. This one skipped. He's able to get the ball away. This one's going to be tipped at around the 35-yard line. Ball on the field. We'll see who's got it. Looks like
Guilford fell
Guilford was able to fall on the ball. Could have been disastrous. Bit of a mental mistake that time by the blocker for Guilford. He tried to field that ball about 10 yards shy of where it fell. Guilford is going to accept that one, but it could have been a costly break. Instead, Guilford would be set up around the 46-yard line, 1st and 10.
You know, Trevor, it just feels like a broken record, week 1. A lot of mental mistakes.
19 and a half seconds left to go here in the first quarter. We'll see if Guilford keeps the ball on the ground here for this potentially last play of the first quarter. As Butler is back out on offense. 2 receivers either side of the formation. He takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. Another nice play by this Belvidere defensive line. That was number 7, Chris Porter, on the carry. And that will take us to, I believe, the end of the first quarter. Now instead, excuse me, it looks like we're going to have an injury on the field, so that'll be a stoppage. This conditions looks like hopefully it's just a cramp. Tough to see where we're from. Yes, indeed, it looks like it's a cramp.
And they're going to run it to the quarter.
So indeed it will be the end of the first quarter. Score is 0-0 here at Belvidere High School in this week 1 matchup between Guilford and Belvidere. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back after these messages. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Crocker Aerials. Find them at Crocker Aerials. So Nate, a bit of a slow and somewhat sloppy first quarter. These teams got some coaching up on the sideline from their respective coaching staffs. We'll see if these teams tighten it up a little bit here as we move now into the second quarter of action. Here is Butler, takes a snap, swing pass off to the right. That's Gwynn. He's got some space to the outside and a nice catch and run. He's going to pick up 15 yards on that second down catch and run, and that'll bring up a first down, ball all the way down to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, the way they were running in that first quarter, you wonder if the G-Vikes might start getting it to the outside. Belvidere's starting to load the box a little bit. They might try and get that speed on the outside and see what they can do with it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some good rush defense from this Bucs defensive line, so that could be the case for the Vikings. They want to air the ball out just a touch more here in the second quarter, going on into the second half. Butler set up in the shotgun, 2 running backs in the backfield with him. He's going to take the snap. This one's going to be handed off. That is number 11, Villarreal.
Another flag on the field.
And he's going to be dragged down for a loss. We'll check the flag here. Excuse me, that is Gwynn, not Villarreal. Waiting on the call from the official, perhaps another holding penalty.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So again, we mentioned that in the first quarter, those outside runs, you're really trying to hold your block as long as possible. These officials are eagle-eyed here tonight, it appears.
Yeah, it can be tempting to make that hold, but sometimes you just got to let them go and hope your running back can make a play.
And it's especially worse, you know, when your guy gets dropped for a loss on top of that. They truly did not need the hold. As it stands, looks like Belvidere is going to, they're discussing with the officials, want to see if they accept the penalty or decline. Still discussing. And yes, indeed, they will accept the penalty, so that'll back them up another 10 yards. Instead of taking the 2-yard loss, they'll be backed up to now the 37-yard line. It'll be first and about 17 here for the Vikings. Butler ready to go. 3 receivers off to his left. Takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off once again. This is Porter. Got some space, but a very nice ankle tackle that time by Villarreal for Belvidere, as he is dragged down around the 34. Second and 21 on the scoreboard. I do believe that is about correct. 3 receivers to the left for Butler as he takes a snap and a very nice run.
Porter, the ball carrier.
It's going to be Chris Porter on the carry. He gains around 10 yards, but now it's going to be set up for 3rd and about 14. You're going to need another one of those plays if you're going to be aggressive and push it on 4th down once again.
Yeah, and the way this game's being played, I think it's really going to come down to who can win the trenches tonight.
Of 6. It'll be 3rd and 15.
3rd and 15 coming up from the 31-yard line. We'll see what the Guilford offense has in store here as they try to potentially move into field goal range. Butler in the shotgun takes the snap, rolls out to the left, looking downfield. He fires it, and that one into some traffic. Couldn't quite make out who he was targeting. Had 2 guys down there, split them
Penalty
both.
on the field.
Yes, we do have a penalty. We'll see.
There's a flag on the play.
We'll see what this one is from the officials as they're discussing. The flag came out on the far sideline.
Came in kind of late.
Perhaps a illegal man downfield, as I believe that is the call.
Indicated rule infraction. Substitution.
Now a substitution infraction
against
here
the Vikings.
for the Vikings. Looks like Belvidere is going to accept it. I'm trying to wait for the official signal. As yes, they will. So they do not take the 4th down. Instead, they'll reset, and it'll be 3rd down and about 20 now. Ball spotted on around the 36-yard line. Here as Butler lines up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Takes a snap, 3-step drop, looking to go deep. This one's going to be almost intercepted. Number 34 for Belvidere. Don't have his name on our roster sheet. Did a nice play to step in front of that ball. It's going to bring up 4th down. And Guilford is going to have to punt this ball away. And an update here, end of 1. Harlem and Auburn are scoreless, as is the case here at Belvidere. 9.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Ball game is tied 0-0. Looks like that is Hoffman, I believe, set back to punt. Set up around midfield. 2 returners back for Belvidere at the 3-yard or at the 10-yard line. Excuse me, that's Grant Nelson with the boot. Nice punt that time. And it's going to be down by Guilford at the 2-yard line. A fantastic punt by Grant Nelson. And Belvidere is going to be really pressed to work from behind the chains here now.
Great job by special teams there on the G-Vikes. Gunners just flying down the field.
And if you're Belvidere, that might be one where you're looking at, and you've got to call a fair catch there. You know, not a very long punt, but the ball hanging up. You could have caught that around the 10-yard line or so. Instead, they're set up at the 2.
Well, I tell you what, you don't see a lot of punters in high school who can place it right where he did. Great job by the punter.
So Belvidere is going to be set up. We're going to spot the ball officially at the 4-yard line, I believe, as they'll break the huddle. Once again, Verenma in the this time's going to be under center. He short pitch and
Ball's
the ball's
on the ground.
on the turf. And it looks
Guilford
like
has it.
Guilford's going to have it. We'll see. Might have squirted
There's
out
a
at the
scrum.
last second. And no, it's going to be Belvidere ball able to hop on it at the last second. Almost disastrous once again for Belvidere instead. Belvidere hangs on to the ball. No flag that time. Official looks like it dropped out of his pocket. He waved it off, so it's going to be first down. Trying to see. Yes, indeed, they did get enough on the fumble recovery. So another lucky break for the Belvidere Bucs, and that could have been extremely disastrous. Instead, they'll hang on to it.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky.
Verenma now lined up in the shotgun. He's got two receivers on either side of the formation, one running back in the backfield with him. Takes a snap, looking off to the right. He's got a man, and that was almost called in. Villarreal tried to go up and make a one-handed snag. Instead, it falls to the turf. Would have been tackled right away. As it stands, going to fall incomplete and bring up 2nd and 10 now.
Broken up by number 16, Evan Wright. Great job of waiting until he had the ball in his hand to break it up, not causing the pass interference.
8.5 minutes or so left to go here in first half of action. Here as Guilford and Belvidere square off. Ball game is scoreless, tied 0-0. Both teams a little bit sloppy. And we're going to have a snap. Looks like we're going to have another pre-snap penalty. This ball is going to be handed off to Jason Dean. Looks like they had two men moving at the time of the snap, so another pre-snap penalty. And Belvidere is going to be behind the chains once again here in their own territory.
I tell you what, Trevor, that's got to be really frustrating as a coach to see that happen continuously over and over. Knowing it's week one, there's going to be some mistakes, but you can't continue to just shoot yourself in the foot on both sides of the football here.
So after the illegal shift, the ball is going to be spotted at the 9-yard line. 2nd and 15 now here for Verenma and this Buck offense, as they have not been able to get much going here against this stalwart Viking front. Time 3 receivers off to the right for Verenma, 1 to the left. 3 down linemen for Guilford. Running back shifts from right to left for Verenma. Takes a snap, looking off to the right, now looks back left. He's going deep. He's got a man, number 5, who's going to haul it in. Great catch that time by Jason Dean, and the biggest play of the ball game goes to the Belvidere Bucs as they are around midfield following an excellent pass.
Tell you what, great play call by Coach Tony Ambrosio, dialing one up, going deep in his own territory, taking a chance.
So after the nice play, ball spotted on the 44-yard line. The Buck offense might have a little bit of momentum here now. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Number 11 in motion. That's Villarreal.
Another
and
penalty.
We're going to have another penalty, a false start for Belvidere. And we can hear their coaching staff is none too thrilled. So after the false start, following a big play, that's a little bit of a momentum killer. Ball still spotted at the 39-yard line. So that is his first completion of the game, 36 yards to Dean. As now it's going to be 1st and 15 here for the Bucs. Crowd a little bit more into it following that big pass strike, making a little bit more noise, some murmurs in the crowd. 2 receivers either side of the formation for Verenma. And we are going to have a penalty offsides on Guilford.
Indicated rule infraction.
Defensive lineman not quite agreeing with that call, but we're right back to where we started.
Once again, this game keeps coming down to a game of penalties. Whichever team can commit less probably has the likelihood of winning.
Yard line.
Indeed. So 5-yard penalty either way, as the Belvidere now set up at the original line of scrimmage, the 44-yard line. Two receivers either side for Varenma. Man in motion is number 5. Varenma takes the ball. He's going to fake the handoff, and he is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, as that play was going nowhere, swallowed up in the backfield.
Varenma, the ball carrier.
Bring up 2nd and 10. Again, ball on the 44-yard line. Just 8 yards on the ball game here and for the Belvidere rushing offense. A little bit more than a yard per carry. 8 yards on 7 carries. This Guilford defensive front really attacking the run game with some aggression here tonight.
Closing in on 6 minutes left in the second.
Varenma takes snap, looking off to the left. Blitz pickup by the running back. He's got a man down there. This one's going to be knocked down, and we're going to have a flag. We'll see what the call is. I believe it's going to be, yes, pass interference on the defense.
There are 2 flags.
We got 2 flags, one in the backfield, one downfield. We'll see what the call is here on the line of scrimmage side of things.
Could be offsetting penalties. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, a pass interference and a holding call, so
we'll replay the down.
We'll replay the down once more, as we've said quite a number of times here tonight. Unfortunate if you're Belvidere, that could have been another big play to spring them downfield even further. A couple of big pass plays that they've tried. Of course, the one big strike, 36 yards to Dean. That time drew the pass interference call, offset by a penalty. We'll see if the Bucs want to keep going to the air a little bit more, as they've done so with a little bit more success here in the second quarter. Belvidere breaks the huddle. Once again, receivers, 2 of them on either side for the Bucs. Running back off the left hip of Varenma. Takes a snap, looking off. He's dropping back once again. Pressure coming. This one's going to be flipped out to Dean. He's got some space on the right sideline, and he's going to pick up a first down, a nice 14-yard pickup. Jason Dean, his 2nd reception of the ball game, his 2nd first down, both of them here in this quarter.
Yeah, it just looks like a miscommunication on the defensive end there. Somebody should have had the flat, and they weren't where they were supposed to be.
So Varenma, these past couple of plays, as he's dropped back, he is letting the pressure get to him. He's being poised in the pocket, and he's able to throw the ball downfield. And it's been working so far here in the second quarter. We'll see if they keep going with that or if the Guilford coaching staff has some adjustments.
Belvidere coaching staff doing a great job. You can tell the difference from this year to last year. Kids are a lot more poised, really coaching them up.
Varenma under center, first snap of the ball game on the opponent's sideline here, on the opponent's side of the half for Belvidere. As we're going to have a jump cut and a nice 3, maybe 4-yard rush for Cervantes. As ball is around the 43, maybe 44-yard line here. 2nd and a long 6 here for the Bucs. 5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. As things are winding down. Varenma under center once again. This one's going to be dropped, but before that, looks like we're going to have another pre-snap penalty.
Flag on the play.
See what the call is. It's going to be another offsides for this Guilford defense. So a free 5 yards, and now it's going to be 2nd and short. Chance for a big play for Belvidere on this drive once again.
Great job sustaining the drive by Belvidere. Vikes on the defensive end need to pick it up as far as mental mistakes.
So 2nd and 2 here for the Bucs. So we now approach 5 minutes left to go here in the ballgame. Varenma coming under center once again. He's got 3 running backs. This time it's going to be pitched out, and that ball is on the turf, and it's going to be recovered by Guilford. A mistake here for the Belvidere offense, and Guilford's going to take over following the missed option play. And a big-time break for Guilford as Belvidere was driving. Now your offense to take over. You got a shot to score towards the end of the first half here.
Well, like you said earlier, Trevor, it could just be a big fumble or an interception, strip and score. You know. Turnovers are huge right now.
That one recovered by Jaquavion Johnson on defense. So an official's timeout, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Here in the South Gate, Junior Softball.
Welcome back to the ball game. This one presented in part by Crocker Aerials. As we are coming back from break, 5 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Ball resting at their own.
As Guilford is taking over following the fumble recovery at the 35-yard line. We'll see if they can drive down and perhaps pick up some points here before the end of the first half. Butler under center. He's going to hand the ball off. A big hit, but Primus able to stay on his feet. He gets around 3 yards on that carry. But once again, this Belvidere defensive front showing their worth and
Tackle made by
really making some nice plays here in the run game.
It's a gain of 3.
And we got a score update from Hononegah. The Jefferson Jayhawks on top 8-7 late in the first.
38-yard line.
So 2nd and 7 now from the 38-yard line, maybe the 37. The ball is about halfway in between the 2-yard markers. As Guilford looking to drive down the field. Last drive was marred by penalties after penalties. See if they can clean it up here on this drive. Butler takes a snap. He rolls out to the right. He's got pressure in the backfield, able to escape out to the right. He had a blocker, but he's going to be hit and knocked down finally, and we're going to have a penalty after the play. He was tackled around the 43-yard line. We'll see what the call is from the officials here.
Flag on the play.
Have a personal foul, a face mask against the Bucs. So that'll be a free first down here for Guilford,
Against the Bucs.
as that puts them over the halfway mark of the field. And they'll have a real shot to perhaps go in and pick up some points here before halftime. 4 minutes left to go in the first half.
Well, the story seems to remain the same. Teams just keep beating themselves, penalty after penalty. Whichever team can be the most disciplined and focused is probably going to have the best chance of pulling this one out tonight.
So after the penalty, the ball is going to be spotted at the 44-yard line inside Belvidere territory. Again, 4 minutes left to go here in the first half, as Guilford would really love to punch this ball in, or at least get a field goal, as they will receive the second half kickoff. 3 receivers off to the left for Butler in shotgun. Takes a snap. He's throwing this one off to the left. That's number 11, Gwynn. Gwynn looking to get some space to the outside. He's able to pick up about 4 yards out to the 39-yard line. Nice catch and run on that swing pass. That's worked a few times here tonight, Nate, but if you're Belvidere, has not been too many big plays. And looking now down on the field, looks like we have some more laundry on the field.
There's a flag on the play.
I think we've said that just about every play here tonight.
Pretty close.
It's going to go against Guilford.
Block in the back.
And a block in the back. That'll move it back to the 41. So it'll be 2nd and 7.
We have a legal block in the back against the Vikings.
Excuse me, 1st and 7. As Butler now, 2 receivers off to both sides. Number 4 in motion, that's Chapman. For that, we have a stoppage of play.
Doesn't look like we had the ball set and ready to go.
I think they had the ball set about a half a yard too deep. Now official lines ready for play here. Number 4 in motion, that's Chapman. Butler takes a snap. He's got some room off to the left side. He breaks it out.
Great
He's
blocking.
down to the 30. He's going to be pushed out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Nice scamper that time by Malachi Butler. And one of the biggest plays of the first half for Guilford goes for a first down, and they are inside the 30.
Little misdirection action there. Great job by the coaching staff. We've been handing it off majority of the game, keeping it in the quarterback's hands and go the opposite direction. Great play call.
Clock winding down here, 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Ball set up on the 25-yard line. Butler in shotgun, 2 receivers either side. Takes a snap, rolls out to the right. He's got some space to the outside. He throws it. That's going to be number 2 on the catch, LaDainian Hoffman, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds just shy of the marker, 9 yards on that first down throw. And the Guilford Vikings, for the second time tonight, are inside the red zone.
Be big to get a score, to put it in here right before the half, get some points on the board.
3 minutes left to go here in the first half. Plenty of time, no need to rush if you're this Guilford offense. 3 receivers off to the left here for Butler. He's going to take the snap. He's going to hand the ball off. That is number 6. He's got some space up the middle. That's Marquarius Suggs. And he's going to get all the way down to the 10-yard line.
Check that number 8, Isaiah Primus, on the carry.
Indeed it was. Numbers get a little bit blurry from up here. We're quite a bit away. So. And that'll bring up first down. It'll be first and goal from the 10-yard line. Butler in shotgun. Primus in the backfield with him. This one's going to be another swing pass. That's out to number 23, and he is going to be in for the touchdown. Messiah Tilson with a nice catch and run for the Vikings, as they're the first on the board here tonight. As Messiah Tilson makes a nice play on the reception, and that'll put up 6 points here for Guilford.
Messiah Tilston, only a sophomore. Coach Capriati said he's the fastest kid on the team.
Yeah, we saw it there. He caught that ball, and he made a couple of guys miss. He was able to really explode up the field and break across the goal line. If he was any slower, I don't think he would have got there. See what Guilford wants to do here for the try. Looks like they are going to set up to go for 2. Butler under center, 2 receivers either side. Shifts his feet. He's going to go for the sneak, and the push is going to be enough for the 2-point try. So a touchdown and 2-point conversion for the Guilford Vikings, as Malachi Butler able to get the conversion to go, and Guilford leads by a score of 8-0. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the first half.
And let's not forget, that play is extra big because Guilford will be getting the ball back at halftime as they kicked off to start the game.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to visit our concession stands.
So the first score of the night goes to Guilford.
There's an express concession stand located
If you're Belvidere, you would love nothing more than to respond here on this drive. Of course, they had something going last time out, but a fumble led directly 2 points for the Vikings. We'll see if the Bucs want to go through the air a little bit more, as they have been doing here in the second quarter. Big plays for them have worked. We'll see what this coaching staff has lined up as we wind down the first half. The 2 returners back deep for Belvidere. Ball set up at the 40. Officials now getting ready for play. Ball is kicked on the turf once more. It's going to be taken in around the 40-yard line. Smart play that time by Alvarez, the sophomore running back on the hands team. Second time Guilford has tried that. Second time, Belvidere will have very good field position as they try to tie this ball game up before halftime.
It'll be first and 10 for the Bucs. Ball resting at their own 43.
Ball spotted on the 43-yard line here for the Bucs. Verenma in the huddle with his offensive squad. I have to think, Nate, they're going to want to go to the air a little bit here on this drive.
Yeah, Trevor, I would be pretty happy if I was the Belvidere staff. If you look at the score from last year, going into half, even if you're only down a score, you're making progress.
Especially with the way they've played in the second quarter. Of course, the turnover, but they've had some big plays on offense. Things are looking up here for them. Verenma drops back. He's got some time. He's pointing downfield. He's going to step out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. Bit of a dangerous play at that time for Guilford. Number 87, Keeson Taylor, hit him close to the boundary. They'll give him 1 yard.
Keeson Taylor, only a freshman, getting some action here in the first game of the varsity season.
They'll give him 1 yard on that play. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here before halftime. I want to thank you so much for joining us if you're just tuning in. Again, Belvidere trails by a score of 0-8. Guilford just got a touchdown and 2-point conversion the last time out. Belvidere has the ball now on the 44-yard line. Verenma in the shotgun takes a snap. He's looking off to the left. He's got a man open. That's number 17 as he breaks off 1 tackle. And we're going to have a penalty towards the end of the play. That's Lasikowski. And I think there might be a face mask on the end of that play. We'll see what the call is.
Number 17, Matthew Lasikowski.
Clock stop! Clock stop! God damn, we're at home and we can't get this.
Still waiting for the call from the officials. They are discussing perhaps a horse collar, perhaps a face mask. We'll see what the call is.
No flag?
No flag, so they'll pick it up, and instead of a first down for Belvidere, it's going to be 3rd and 3 now for Belvidere as they try to break past midfield and pick up a first down here.
Big
Just
play
under
right
2
here.
minutes left to go here in the first half. Renma in shotgun takes a snap. He's looking off to the right. He's got pressure in his face. He's able to break out of it. Looking downfield now, and he's going to be dragged down for a sack.
Great job by Keeson Taylor, the freshman.
Second time we've called his name here on this drive.
Brandon, the ball carrier.
And we're going to have a timeout. Clock is going to be stopped as Guilford coaching staff are looking to capitalize and potentially get another score. So a nice sack by Keeson Taylor, the freshman, as you said. Verenma was looking to drive the ball downfield. Didn't want to take a sack that time, but he was forced to as coverage downfield was good. Pressure was in his face. And now Belvidere will be forced to punt this ball away, and they'll give Guilford an opportunity to score here before the halftime.
And we have another score update at halftime. East is down 7-0 to Boylan.
So a lot of low-scoring games from around the league. It's kind of what we expected, Nate. You know, again, hot conditions, it's humid.
Week 1.
Week 1, a little bit of sloppiness, but we expect some of those, we'll say, perennial playoff teams to, you know, their coaching staff will want to kick them into gear.
Yeah, you imagine a halftime, they'll come out with some adjustments and give them a good talking to at half.
So we'll see what Belvidere has dialed up. Does not look like they're in a punting formation. Instead, Verenma is going to be in the shotgun. And looks like they were just looking to get a look at what the Guilford defense was doing. They'll use their 3rd time out of the half, talk things over. Nate, if you're the coach here for Belvidere, I know you've had a couple of good passing plays, but your defense has played so well tonight. I don't know if this is the time and place in the ball game to risk it and potentially give the Guilford Vikings the ball in their own half.
Yeah, this is a tough spot to be in. If it was me, I would probably punt, but Coach Ambrosio has been known to risk it for the biscuit, so they might go for it.
Of course, no timeouts left for Belvidere. I believe Guilford has 2 remaining, perhaps 1 remaining. I don't see it on the scoreboard.
I believe they are out.
Okay, they might be out as well. Still about a minute and a half left to go. Of course, Guilford just picked up a score on their last drive. Touchdown pass once again. And a 2-point conversion. Messiah Tilson got in for 6. Malachi Butler with the quarterback sneak to get into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. That's been it for the scoring here tonight in the ball game as Guilford leads by a score of 8-0. Now,
Yeah, tough spot for the Bucs to be in. If they can step up and get a stop here, that'd be huge for them right before half. If Guilford can put it in, remember, they're getting the ball back at halftime, so it could change, score could change fairly quick.
So here's Butler going to be lined up in shotgun. A minute and a half left to go here in the first half. Belvidere running 1 man in from the sideline. 3 receivers split off to the left for Butler. Takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. That's number 7, Chris Porter, and he's got a crease up the middle. Ball down to the 30-yard line. Clock is rolling, as we are down inside a minute and 15 now.
Looks like the G-Vikes are going to go 2-minute drill.
Same formation here for the Vikings. Butler in shotgun. Receivers get set to the left side. He takes a snap. He's looking deep this time. He's going to be forced to roll out to the left. He's got some pressure in his face, and he is going to be drilled by Cervantes. A big-time hit by the sophomore two-way player as Butler goes down around the line of scrimmage, and now we are down inside 50 seconds here in the first half.
Yeah, if you're Butler there, you got to throw it away or get out of bounds. You can't allow the clock to run like it is.
3rd and 6 from the 36-yard line. Here's Butler in the shotgun, takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Porter. Porter's got a crease up the middle. He's going to get enough for a first down.
That'll stop
ball
the clock.
down to the 22-yard line. Clock will stop while the chains reset. 28 seconds on the clock.
Tackle by number 58, Colton Smith.
It's interesting, Trevor. You see less penalties when they've been in the 2-minute drill than when they've been able to set up.
Clock is rolling. 25 seconds left to go now here in the first half. Ball on the 23-yard line. Butler takes the pass, swing pass to the outside. That's number 11, Gwynn, on the catch. Good play that time by Belvidere to hold them up, and looks like now there'll be a timeout for Guilford. They might have had one left, so that'll stop the clock at 13 and a half seconds left to go. We'll see it. It's always a little bit interesting in the high school game. You've got some good kickers both sides, but the range, especially on these long kicks from the hash mark, are always a little bit precarious. And if you're Guilford, you'd love to get maybe 5, 6, 7 more yards to the sideline.
I would imagine they start taking a shot or two towards the end zone here, getting this close to the half.
We'll see what the Vikings coaching staff has in store here on this 2nd down and 10 play. Again, 13 and a half seconds left to go here in the first half. Looks like they will try at least one more offensive play. We'll see what they've got in store.
Looks like they're going to set up 2 receivers each side with a running back in the backfield.
Kicker is warming up on the sideline. Looks like that's number 18. We do not have his name on the roster. Might be Miles Groh. His number is not on our roster sheet, however. Here is Butler now. Takes the snap. He's rolling off to the right, looking to get it downfield. Almost sacked in the backfield. Butler now has got some space to the outside, and he is going to get out of bounds. And a great play that time by
looks like there's a
Butler.
flag.
Indeed, you are correct. We'll see what the flag is. Could be another hold penalty. We'll see. But a nice play that time by Butler. He got out of that sack and was able to make something of it. We'll wait for the official's call here.
For his first career start, he's done a great job holding his composure and being pretty elusive in the backfield.
It's going to be a foul on the Guilford Vikings.
I believe we have a chop block on the outside there.
They're going to call a blow to the head. So a personal foul, 15 yards, and now you're really outside of field goal range. But don't look now. Last year, week 1, Guilford was able to chuck the ball downfield, and they had a Hail Mary touchdown at the end of the half. Week 2. We'll see what they do here.
Butler definitely has the arm to do it.
Just a 2.5 seconds left to go here. This will be the last play of halftime, barring a defensive penalty. As now the referee running in towards the field of play, communicating a couple of things to the coaching staffs. Waiting for the ready to play signal. A little bit of confusion here. Not quite sure what's going on down there. Effort, or if they drop a couple of guys deep. They don't have anybody sitting at the goal line. Just 2 down linemen. No, 3 down linemen, however. Ready to play. Here is Butler in the shotgun. Motion man from left to right. Butler takes a snap. He's looking to throw it deep. We've got a flag. Looks like there's going to be a block in the back. Butler still going. A nice play. He is dragged down around the 18-yard line. But I believe we'll have a block in the back. Either way, it doesn't matter. Unless this is a defensive penalty, we'll see. Indication is it will go against the offense. So a bit of a sloppy half for both sides. But Guilford will go into halftime with a 8-0 lead. And Nate, what are your thoughts here on the first half?
Well, I think the tail of the half has been penalties on both sides. Whichever team can clean that up is definitely going to have a great opportunity to win. There's been big plays through the air each way. I think both teams have done a good job establishing the run, but until either one of them cleans up those penalties, it's going to be a long night.
And if you're Guilford, you're getting the ball back here at the start of the third quarter. You're going into halftime with a lead. That's always positive, but given what they did last year, you got to think that their coach might be a little bit, we'll say, frustrated with how his offense is played, especially those penalties, as you mentioned.
Yeah, knowing Coach Cap, I know he's not going to be happy with the mental mistakes. I tell you what, if I'm Coach Ambrosio, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Only being down a touchdown at half after the season they had last year, you can definitely tell there's some improvements being made.
And they certainly had a shot to take the lead there in that second quarter. Again, that fumble, bit of a mishap. I don't know if it was a miscommunication. Looks like the running back did not have his eyes on the ball. But like you said, you got to be happy. You're playing a very good team, very close here. We'll see if these Bucs can do something here in the second half here on their home opener. We'll step away for halftime. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media 815, live here from Funderburg Memorial Stadium at Belvidere High School, where the Guilford Vikings lead the Belvidere Bucs by a score of 8-0. So we'll see you after this. Welcome back to the ball game here, folks, here at Funderburg Memorial Stadium at Belvidere High School. Guilford leads by a score of 8-0 going into the second half, alongside my partner for this evening, excuse me, Nate Green, as we are so thrilled to have you with us here for our Week 1 coverage of NIC-10 football. So, Nate, we harped on it a lot in that first half, but some sloppy play, Week 1. Now, after you had a half of football, like you said, you've got to hit somebody that's not on yours, that's not wearing your colors. Now it's time to get a little bit more serious, and I think we should see some more sharpness here in this half.
Yeah, you imagine the coaches talk to the guys at halftime about the penalties and how that's been hurting them. Whichever team can clean that up, I think is going to have easily the best shot to win the game. Good start for both of them, though.
And we do have a correction. We had number 17 as Malachi Butler. It is actually Xavier Lindhe, who is wearing number 17 and doing the quarterbacking tonight for Guilford. The sophomore quarterback has looked pretty good. Had some good pressure up the middle from Belvidere, so we'll see if that continues here in this second half, as we are about 2.5 minutes to go before the second half kickoff. So again, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media 815 for our Week 1 broadcast in this 2023 high school football season. Check out highlights from this game and photos and more from around the NIC-10 and the state line. Be sure to check us out at Clutch Sports Media 815 on Instagram and Twitter. Again, you'll be able to find photos and highlights from tonight's ball game. I know we've got some good ones put up already, so be sure to check those out. See some cool in-action photos from our sideline crew.
And we got a couple score updates from around the NIC. At the halftime of East E-Rabs and the Boylan Titans, Boylan is up 7-0, and the Harlem Huskies are up 10-0 over the Auburn Knights at the half.
And we've seen it here, Nate, 8-0. A lot of teams trying to establish the run, having some difficulties. Looks like some of the guys are running a little bit in quicksand. And, we kind of saw that last season as well, where Week 1 you're coming in, you might have good gym conditioning, but your field conditioning might not be at the level where you want. And the issues are only exacerbated with some of the conditions, especially how hot this week has been. You're not able to get as good of practices as you might have been able to. And tonight, I'm sure some of these guys are really sweating it out. It's good to stay properly hydrated, and not just here, but around the league. A lot of low-scoring games at halftime. Good football. I'm sure the coaches might tell you otherwise, but from a fan's perspective, that's what you want to see. A lot of close games, a lot of competitive games early on in the season as teams look to establish themselves. Of course, we're all looking around the NIC to find who's going to be this year's Guilford and go from a 1 or 2 win team to the playoffs, as the Vikings did a year ago.
Well, and at the end of the night, I think if you're Coach Capriati or Coach Ambrosio, pretty or not, all you're really looking for is a win.
Truer words have not been spoken as we are getting ready for kickoff. Teams are lined up. Again, Guilford will receive the ball. That is number 2, LaDamian Hoffman, back to receive for the Vikings. And we will see the first kickoff of the game from the Bucs. We'll see what their special teams unit can do, as Guilford has kicked it short both times. We'll see if the Bucs want to send it deep and kick it to time at the 39-yard line. So no reason to take the risk. You've got your squad up in a good offensive position. Vikings will start the second half, 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. And they looked good these a couple of past possessions. Of course, they stalled out a little bit towards the end of the first half. But maybe they found something here in the second quarter. And this is Lindhe at the quarterback position. He's going to hand the ball off to the outside. Great line work from the right end from Belvidere that time. I believe that was Primus on the carry. He's only 1 yard on that game. He's going to be set up 2nd and 9 at the 40-yard line.
You got to give the Belvidere Bucs credit. They are nasty down in the trenches. They're not afraid to get physical.
And again, if you're just joining us, quarterback correction, we were calling Malachi Butler. It is Xavier Lindhe, the sophomore, wearing number 17 here tonight. Looks like they might have a new quarterback in there, actually.
That is the freshman.
The freshman, number 28, I believe. Grayson Weber took that snap, threw it to the outside, just a 2-yard gain. As it looks like the Guilford coaching staff is going to go and shift over to Weber under center. We'll see if they keep that out through this second half. Something to keep an eye on as he is still in there, manning this offense as he faces his first third down of the season. Ball spotted on the 42-yard line, 3rd and 7 for the Vikings. Again, Weber in the shotgun, 3 receivers off to the left, 1 tight to the right. Takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. Once again, this is Primus. He's got a lane, and he's still going.
There he goes.
He's out to the outside. 1 man to beat, 23. He's got a blocker, and now he's going to be dragged down around the 30-yard line. A fantastic run for Isaiah Primus. A big-time play for the Guilford Vikings offense. And they are all the way down to the 30-yard line. Big-time play here to start off this second half.
I tell you what, he is just a ball of muscle. He's tough to get down.
So after that play, Guilford really working a nice run on 3rd and long for Primus. As once again, Weber in the shotgun. This time he's got 2 receivers either side of the formation. 1 man in motion left to right. He takes the ball, hands it off. He's going to the outside, number 23. He's still going, stays on his feet, and he's going to be dragged down from behind finally at the 22-yard line. But a yard shy of the first down marker, but he'll bring up 2nd and short. That was Messiah Tilson on the carry.
We got a Belvidere Buck down on the ground. Looks like a cramp.
There's number 21, I believe, Chase Floyd, getting that one stretched out towards the Guilford sideline. So, Nate, we saw a change at quarterback here just this first game of the season. Guilford bringing in the freshman quarterback, Grayson Weber. And whenever you're a freshman and you're playing on the varsity squad, especially at that quarterback position, you know you might have something special.
Yeah, Grayson had a really great night at Blue White Night. Came in as a really highly touted freshman, had a great summer, really committed to the weight room. Gained the respect of a lot of the older kids on the team. I think he's going to be something special for the next few years.
We'll see what he can do as we move throughout this second half of the night. Again, if you're just joining us, second half just underway. 9 minutes, 53 seconds left to go here in the third quarter as Guilford leads by a score of 8-0. I want to thank you for joining us here on Clutch Sports Media at Funderburg Memorial Stadium at Belvidere High School for our Week 1 broadcast. Again, Trevor Larson alongside Nate Davis here tonight. Nate Green here tonight. As we take a look at some of the stats, Guilford really putting up some rushing yards. They're up now over 100 yards, 113 on the night, 6.5 yards per carry. But that hasn't really translated into points, Nate. You know.
Well, once again, it's those penalties that keep bringing them back. Make a good play. Next thing you know, you're coming back 10 to 15 yards.
So after the injury timeout, looks like Floyd able to walk off the field on his own power. Again, we mentioned cramps at the top. Hot night like this, it's to be expected. Hopefully we don't see too many more or any more throughout the rest of the night. So after that timeout, Weber is going to take the snap. He hands the ball off. Once again, this is Primus. He's got a nice lane up the middle. Going to give him around 8 or 9 yards on that carry. And once again, Guilford inside the red zone.
It makes you wonder, Trevor, is the numbers as far as kids on the team going to make a difference as the game goes on? It seems like Guilford Vikings, with a couple more guys on the sidelines, are starting to wear them down a little bit as the game goes on.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Guilford going fast. Once again, handoff to Primus. He's got a little bit of room. He's going to get about 5 yards. Meets a wall there. And another nice run by the senior as he is going to be
another buck down.
Yes, indeed. So we do have another injury. We got to bring up second down here. For that carry, Primus up over 60 yards for the ball game. Seen a couple of guys being rotated in the backfield. He looks like he's going to be their primary running back. And like you mentioned, you know, they do seem to have a roster advantage. And whenever you can rotate a couple of guys in the backfield, keep some guys fresh, you know, that third quarter, that fourth quarter, if you got that guy that's got some extra speed, That's a really big advantage for you on offense.
I'll tell you something that's pretty neat about this Guilford team. If you take a look at the sideline when the running backs come off, even the guys who started are cheering on the guys who come in for them. I mean, there's no selfishness to this group. That's really nice to see at the high school level these days.
Indeed it is. It's a real joy to see all these squads. Love to see some good sportsmanship on both sides. Had a little bit of chippiness there in the first quarter, but since then it's been a pretty clean game, at least in terms of personnel. Had a number of penalties. Either way, it's going to bring up second and four. Weber takes a snap. He's rolling to the outside. Good pressure by the Belvidere defense. Looks like his eyes were downfield. Couldn't find anything open. Sack on the play by Arturo Alvarez. And that'll bring up third and now 11. Big loss that time, maybe a freshman mistake.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where maybe the game might have been a little fast for him. It's going to take a couple times for him to see it, but over time I think you'll see him really flourish as the quarterback of this team.
Third and 11, just inside the red zone. Ball spotted at around the 18-yard line. Weber takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off. That's number 7, Chris Porter. He's got a lane to the outside. He cuts it back to the middle. Someone's got a hold of him, and he is still going. Good play on the defense that time. Had him by the jersey, and we'll see where they mark forward progress. It looks like he might be about a half a yard short.
Yeah, he's almost there.
But it's going to bring up 4th and inches now. Good play that time by the backer. Had the jersey of Porter for about 5 seconds before he was able to be dragged down.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 4th down and 1.
Looks like Lindy is going to be under center for this play. Rotating out Weber under center. Lindy, you'd have to imagine, being a more experienced quarterback, is definitely more comfortable taking the ball under center. Everybody's in tight here. Maybe another sneak. Indeed, it will be. Lindy gets a few yards. Enough for a first down and some extra, and he is going to be all the way down to the 5-yard line. Guilford knocking on the door here on this opening drive of the second half.
And that may be something Guilford finds heading into this year. They may have a 2-quarterback system. One guy a little more comfortable throwing the ball, the other guy a little more elusive.
A Buck player slow to get up, but he gets back to his feet. Looks like Lindy is going to stay in there. Now coming over to the sideline to get the play. And if you're the Bucs, you really want to have another goal line stand here. You don't want to go down 2 scores as we approach halfway through the second half, the third quarter. About 7 minutes left to go here in the third. Lindy once again in there. He is a few yards short. Now goes under center for this Viking offense. Everybody in tight, both sides. For that, we're going to have a penalty.
Delay game.
A delay of game. First pre-snap penalty we've seen from Guilford so far. Been relatively clean this drive. And as you said, Nate, you mentioned those rushing yards. You mentioned how those penalties can really set you back. We haven't seen much of that so far this drive, and look what they are. They're down at the 10-yard line. Lindy under center. He's going to hand the ball off up the middle.
I believe that's Hansard on the carry.
Only able to get about 2 yards as he ran into a sea of Buck defenders on that carry. Again, Lindy getting the call from the sideline. 2nd and goal here from around the 8-yard line. Vikings looking to punch the ball in once again as they lead by a score of 8-0. Lindy takes the ball under center. He fakes it, rolls out to the right on the play action. He's got a man wide open in the flat. Touchdown, Guilford.
Touchdown, Vikings.
I believe that is Jaden Gwynn on the reception, the 2nd touchdown of the game for the Vikings. And they're going to take a 2-score lead.
Great play action fake there.
A well-designed play-action bootleg for this Guilford Viking offense. Gwynn had nothing but space there in the flat, able to trot over the goal line for an easy 6 points. See what Guilford does here on their 2nd try of the ball game. Looks like they might be lining up to kick this extra point. Now, no, I do not believe that is the case.
Looks like Grayson's back in the backfield at quarterback.
Yeah, Weber will take this 2-point try as Belvidere looking to rotate some players in. Officials giving them time to substitute here. Looks like there might be a little bit of confusion here on the Bucs defensive side following that touchdown. 6 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Guilford just punched in for 6 once more. Weber on the try here. He's going to take the ball, hands it to number 11 to the outside. Gwynn just scored the touchdown, and he's going to get in for the conversion. Gwynn gets the 8 points. Call that an octopus touchdown and 2-point conversion for Jaden Gwynn, and Guilford goes up by a score of 16-0 halfway here through the third.
You can see a little bit of that track speed from Jaden on the outside there. Great track athlete.
Belvidere 0.
Got a score update. The Jefferson Jayhawks at the Hononegah Indians down 48-8 at half.
So after they jumped out to an early 8-7 lead, looks like Hononegah's offense is going. As for the game here, 16-0 in favor of Guilford. Again, about 6 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Guilford took the ball on their opening drive, punched it in for 6 and 2-point conversion. Now Belvidere really looking to respond here on this drive, their first of the second half.
Well, and I don't think it's any mistake. I think they were held to one penalty that possession. They marched it down the field and put it right in the end zone.
Out of that, perhaps led by the change in quarterback, Grayson Weber. You wonder if the coaches made some adjustments to Xavier Lindhe, who was in there in the first half. Guilford coming out with a second quarterback. Might have thrown the coaching staff for a loop. We'll see what they can do, see if they have any adjustments on the next drive. Guilford now ready to kick the ball off. Belvidere bringing one man closer to the halfway marker as they're expecting perhaps another short kick. 2 men back at around the 20-yard line. This one on the ground once more. It is muffed by Belvidere, and I believe Guilford's going to fall on that one.
Yep.
And indeed they will. They'll have it at their own 49. Bit of a mistake that time by the hands team as they could not recover, and Guilford will take over. They get the touchdown. Now they get the ball right back, trying to put this game potentially out of reach as we move towards the back half of the third quarter here.
Yeah, and I continue to wonder, is the numbers game starting to become an issue for Belvidere? We've had a lot of guys going down. They look a little winded. Could see that possibly being an issue for him.
Looks like Weber will go ahead. Nick. Looks like Weber will stay in there at quarterback here for this drive. We saw him last drive, and he was substituted out for Lindhe as they went down into the red zone. Weber is going to miss that snap. Looks like the Guilford running back jumped onto that ball. Good play by him. That snap was offline for sure, and Guilford lucky to recover that one. Could have been a disastrous play, and we might have given the momentum right back to the Bucs. Instead, it'll be 2nd and 13.
It'll be 2nd down and 13.
Weber coming over to the sideline, getting the play call in from the coordinator. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Guilford up by a score of 16-0. Weber in the shotgun, 3 receivers right, takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to number 7. That's Porter. Porter still going. He is dragging defenders all the way down to the 45-yard line. Good, strong run by the sophomore running back. And we are going to have another Buck down. So that is number 25, maybe 35. Can't quite make out the number, but it looks like another cramp here for the Bucs. And we'll take a break here as we go for an injury timeout to hear a word from our sponsor. Welcome back here on Clutch Sports Media at Funderburg Memorial Stadium. This game brought to you in part by Crocker Aerials. Find them at Crocker Aerials. So, Nate, it's been a much better second half here for this Guilford offense. They've had some good plays on that last drive. That change up at quarterback. We'll see if the freshman can continue and perhaps lead them down to another score. Weber in the shotgun, 2 receivers either side. This one's going to be handed off to Porter once again. Running tough. This time he's going to be all the way down to around the 40-yard line. It's going to be enough for another Guilford first down. As it looks like their running attack has found its groove here a little bit more here in the third quarter.
Well, I think one of the keys with that is you haven't seen any holds yet. Credit the coaching staff to addressing that at the halfway point.
Weber standing at the 45. He takes this one, looking to pass the ball, shakes a defender. He's got 2 men downfield. It's going to be hauled in by Wen. A nice play by Jaden Wen, and a penalty towards the end. We'll check it, but a good falling backwards catch by Jaden Wen. He had 2 men open. The near guy caught it. As it looks like Weber couldn't quite drive it downfield, but a great adjustment that time by the senior receiver.
Indicated rule infraction, personal foul against the Vikings.
And we're going to have a personal foul against Guilford. So a big play, but a big penalty is going to drive back to the 31. Still in great position to score here on this drive. But again, we've mentioned it, Nate. If you're gonna repeat as a 6, 7, 8 win team, you got to cut those out from here on out.
Yeah, and it looks like the coaching staff is addressing with him right now on the sideline.
So Weber in the shotgun once again. He's going to hand the ball off this one to Porter once again. Porter runs into the pile. He's going to go all the way down to the 25-yard line. And so they're going to give him another first down. He got it by plenty. And it looks like we're going to have yet another Buck down. Looks like another cramp here on defense. And Nate, we mentioned that the cramping has really become an issue here for the Bucs. Haven't seen anybody go down for Guilford yet. I think by my count, that's 4 or 5 guys for this Bucs team that have gone down. Yeah, we talked about it. Speaks to some of the hydration levels. Of course, they are wearing the dark uniforms. Guilford on the road wearing their whites. Sun has gone down, not much of an issue as we've moved on throughout this game, but it is a little bit unfortunate, and that really speaks to the depth issue, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Belvidere a little lighter on their numbers. I believe their lower levels are starting to pick up their numbers a little bit, so hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see that continue to go in the positive trend. This year could be a little bit more difficult for them. Hopefully their conditioning's up to par. Like we said, hotter days like this could be a little more difficult for a team with a little less numbers.
About 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. That was number 34, I believe. Looking at the number, he is walking off under his own power.
Going to have a first down here for the G-Vikes.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line, a few 5 yards short of the red zone. Man in motion, that's number 25. Weber takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Carter. Carter's to the outside, and he goes all the way down to the 18. Nice run there that time on first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 2 following the 8-yard gain. First time we've called Carter's name here tonight. The sophomore running back and safety.
I tell you what, you look at the skill positions for the Guilford Vikings, you're looking at a lot of freshmen and sophomores out there. There's a really bright future ahead for these guys.
Especially with a freshman quarterback now quarterbacking your varsity squad. They're set up very good for the future. Here's Weber in the shotgun in the red zone once more. Takes a snap, swing pass to the left. That one's dropped. They're going to say it was a backwards pass picked up by Chapman. And he is going to get about to, I thought he almost had the line of scrimmage. Instead, it'll go down for about a 2-yard loss. But a swing pass that went behind the line of scrimmage. Marion Chapman able to pick it up and save a couple of yards. Still a 2-yard loss, and they'll bring up 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, great job by Chapman there. That could have been a lot worse than it ended up.
Just under 3 minutes here to go in the third quarter. Guilford on top by a score of 16-0. what's been a bit of a slow-paced game here. Weber in the shotgun takes a snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Primus. Primus bounces it to the outside, spins off one man, and he's going to get all the way down to the 10-yard line. Let's see if they're going to give him enough for a first down. I don't believe they will, waiting for the official call. Now they are moving the chains. So another first down here by this Guilford offense. And they're really starting to wear down this Bucs defense.
I tell you what, Primus, he just refuses to go down when he has that ball.
He made a couple of nice plays, able to break off one tackler, able to spin out, roughly half spin out of a tackle, but able to drag his defender down for a couple more yards. This is now Lindy back in the ballgame under center, hands the ball off.
Primus on the carry.
Primus on the carry once more. He's down to the 10-yard line as Guilford's really chewing through this clock as we're under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
And there's a score update. Harlem up 12-0 over Auburn in the third.
Seems like a very similar game to here tonight. A couple of touchdowns from one squad, nothing from the other. Bit of a slow-paced game. I'm sure that's the case out there as well. It's again Lindy here under center. He's back in the ballgame under center. An audible here by the Guilford offense as Lindy wants to bring everybody in tight. Takes a snap. He's going to roll out play action. He's off to the right, breaks away from one tackler, and it's going to be caught inside the end zone. Fantastic adjustment. LaDamian Hoffman with the grab. He went up for that ball a couple of feet in the air, came down with it, and the third touchdown of the game for the Vikings comes through the air once again. LaDamian Hoffman, the senior receiver, with a fantastic catch.
Great job by the quarterback getting outside. Defensive end just at his fingertips, gets by him, lays it right where the defensive back couldn't get it.
That's the third touchdown of the game for this Viking crew. I believe all three of them coming through the air. This last one to LaDamian Hoffman as Guilford tries to expand on this score. As Lindy is still under center here for this two-point try. So they try to push this score even higher. So it's going to be handed off this time. I don't believe the running back is going to break the plane. No, they are signaling no. So the third two-point conversion will be no good, but Guilford with another touchdown, their third of the game, and they have a lead of 22-0 with just about a minute to go here in the third quarter.
And we have another Belvidere Buck down with a cramp.
I just kind of feel bad for some of these guys. You know, we've seen a lot of Belvidere players playing both sides of the ball. Pressure last time was Cervantes on the blitz that time, because he's played in the backfield as well with Verenma. But, you know, these conditions, as we've mentioned it a couple of times, is really tough. You know, you can maybe do it for a half, but if you're playing the entire ball game, especially when it's this hot, this humid, it is really, really difficult to stay out there for the full game. And even if you are out there for the full game, you're probably not playing at 100%.
Well, let's give some credit to the Guilford Vikings coaching staff. We've come out of the halftime. I don't think there's been more than one penalty on each possession. That's been huge as far as them marching the ball down the field and not having to bring it back.
Indeed, it looks like they have really tightened things up here. They've drilled it into their players' heads that, hey, you know, we can win this game, as they've shown here in the second half, but we got to stop beating ourselves. That's the only way we're going to lose this game at this point. We'll see if Belvidere can get a couple of big plays here as we wind down this ball game. Again, about a minute left to go here in the third quarter. Belvidere trails by a score of 22-0. Guilford on top after two touchdowns here in this third quarter. Ball is squibbed out to around the 15-yard line, and looks like the Belvidere player was hoping that one would skip out of bounds. He's forced to fall on the ball. It is the quarterback, Verenma, around the 15-yard line, and we'll see the Belvidere offense for the first time this half.
Well, you could tell Belvidere didn't want to give up the onside again. They had about 9 guys up on the ball there.
So Belvidere will be starting with their their second worst field position of the ball game. Inside their own 20, ball spotted at the 17-yard line. Saw their offense working a little bit better there towards the end of the first half, especially with that aerial game. We'll see if Varenma and this Buck offense can get anything going here in the air as they try to put up some points here and make a game of it as we wind down the third quarter. It's like Belvidere breaking their huddle. Guilford still playing with 3 down linemen. Looks like they've got their safeties a little bit higher here. And it looks like there's some confusion up front. Looks like the Belvidere offensive line only had 4 guys out in formation as they're forced to burn a timeout. And I think, you know, Nate, we've seen it, we've talked about it. That might be a personnel issue where maybe one of those guys had a cramp, so he couldn't be out there for that play.
Yeah, once again, it's a numbers thing, and it's tough burning a timeout when you're coming out of a dead ball situation. That could end up costing you later on in the fourth.
So we'll see if the Bucs offense can get things going here. We have another score update. End of the third. Harlem up by a score of 12-0 over Auburn. And here, Guilford leads by a score of 22-0. Belvidere on offense following the kickoff. Ball spotted at the 17. Belvidere's trying to go down and put some points up. Maybe in this third quarter, but they would love to get it with a couple of minutes into the fourth quarter at the latest if they want to have a shot at pulling this one out, perhaps tying the ball game here on their home opener. Now Belvidere comes off from the sideline in formation. 5 linemen out there for the Bucs. As everybody in tight here for this Bucs offense. Varenma under center. He's going to take the ball pitch wide. That is number 3, I believe, Alvarez. And he is going to stay up for as long as he possibly can. They're going to mark him. Excuse me, that's number 5. They're going to give him forward progress at around the original line of scrimmage. He was thrown back a couple of yards. But it's going to be 2nd and 10 now.
The team speed defense here for the G-Vikes. It's hard to hit the outside. Belvidere's going to have to win that line of scrimmage and get them right up the middle if they want to get them.
About 25 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Looks like Belvidere will throw one more play out there before the end of the third quarter. As they break the huddle, this time they're going to have 2 receivers on the left side, 2 receivers right. Varenma in the shotgun once more. Halfback off his right hip. This one skipped on the ground. Varenma picks it up, looking downfield, trying to make a play, throws it. He's got a couple of guys down there, and that one's going to fall to the turf. Just threw up a bit of a Hail Mary pass. Jason Dean and Matthew Lazikowski over there. And it looks like that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So Guilford in control of this one by a score of 22-0. And we'll step away, take a break, and And welcome back here at Funderburg Memorial Stadium as we are here week 1, Belvidere and Guilford squaring off. Guilford in control of this one. They lead by a score of 22-0 here going into the final quarter of this ball game. as offenses have switched sides as Verenma takes a snap in the shotgun. This ball is handed off to number 11, Villarreal, as he's got some room. He's able to get about 5, maybe 6 yards on that carry.
Villarreal, the ball carrier.
And that'll bring up now 3rd down, I believe. No, it's going to be 4th down, correction. As we'll see what this Bucs offense wants to do. We'll see if they stay out or if they bring out the special teams unit. It's like some confusion on the sidelines as they have, looks like too many men in the huddle. Now they're running some guys off, and we'll see what they do here on this 4th down.
I think Guilford's going to play this one safe. They're not putting anybody back. If they kick it deep, I think they're going to allow them to let the ball go deep. They don't want to give up the 1st down.
So again, I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. Week 1 action here in the NIC-10. Guilford and Belvidere. And before the punt can go away, we're going to have a delayed game. We got some personnel issues, it looked like, for the Belvidere Bucs. As some guys running off a little bit too late. It looks like it forced them to take a little bit too much time. And it's going to back them up 5 yards more. Ball's going to be spotted at the 18 now.
And Guilford is sending Messiah Tilson back. We've seen some speed from him today. If he can get the ball in his hands, let's see what he can do with it.
Verenma, the quarterback, is also the punter. This one is clean. Rolling out to the right. He's looking for some room, and he has got some space, but he is not going to quite make it down to the 25-yard line. He needed the 27. Took a risk that time trying to get a 1st down. Looks like he had a good look, just 2 yards shy. And unfortunately for this Bucs offense, Guilford will take over at the 25-yard line with a fresh set of downs and in prime position to really put this game out of reach.
Ball goes over on downs to the Vikings. It will be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Ball resting at the Belvidere 25-yard line.
Spot this ball at the 26 instead. As we'll see which quarterback comes out to play here for Guilford. They're calling for Xavier Lindhe. Looks like he is going to be the signal caller here. Guilford's passing attack working very well. Combined 10 for 13 here in this ball game. So they found their aerial game here in the 2nd half, especially. Lindhe in the shotgun takes the snap. He's going to hand this ball off to There's Porter once again. Porter running up through the middle. He's going to gain 4 yards on that 1st down carry. 10.5 minutes left to go here in this ball game. Guilford just outside of the red zone.
I'll tell you what, the triple-headed monster at running back for Guilford this year is going to be tough.
Yeah, we've called all their numbers here tonight. Chris Porter, Isaiah Primus, and a couple other guys, really.
J.R. Hansard.
We'll see. We also had some quarterback rushes that looked somewhat impressive. It's like we might have had some movement. No call on the field. This one's going to be handed off to Messiah Tilson on the wide receiver sweep. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's like the officials might have missed a couple of guys moving. But for Belvidere, he'll take it. No yards on that play, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 now.
Once again, Messiah Tilson making something out of nothing, being able to get to the outside. Man, he's got some speed.
So 3rd and 7 here. If you're the Bucs, you really need to stop if you've got a shot at winning this ball game. Right here, you need 2 consecutive stops. You need to turn this ball over, and you need to go down and potentially score, as we are now under 10 minutes here in the game. This one's going to be handed off. This is Primus once again, and he has got some space, and he is going to get enough yards for the 1st down. Very tough run. Excuse me, that was Chris Porter on the carry. Chris Porter with a very tough run all the way down to the 15-yard line. Picks up a 1st down on 3rd and long. Fantastic run that time by the sophomore. Lindhe getting the calls from the sideline. Because again, Guilford really trying to put this game out of reach. They are up 22-0, 9.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. Knocking on the door once again. Scored twice already in this half, looking to make it 3 times. Lindhe takes a snap. He's looking off to the left. He's got an open receiver. That one falls short. Chris Porter was targeted. Some pressure in his face that time. Couldn't quite muster the arm strength. Falls incomplete for Guilford, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
In comes Grayson Webster at quarterback.
See what the freshman can do. Perhaps the Guilford coaching staff wanting to get him some reps here in the red zone in the fourth quarter. Seeing 3 touchdowns from Lindhe, all inside the red zone now. The freshman quarterback coming out trying to put up one of his own here as we wind this ball game down. Looks like Weber is going to be taking this snap under center. Takes it. He's going to hand the ball off to number 7. Once again, that's Chris Porter. And Belvidere is just getting pushed off the ball here in this second half as Guilford's offensive line and running back push everything down and give him about 6 yards on that carry. But we do have a penalty marker down.
Indicated rule infraction. Holding.
So it's going to be a holding on Guilford. And, you know, you don't like to see that, Nate, but the way that they've played here in the second half, I think 1 or 2 penalties is probably okay. They've really cleaned it up after halftime.
Yeah, they definitely made some adjustments at halftime. You got to credit the coaching staff of the Guilford Vikings for that one.
So ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line even. 2nd and 15 here. 5-yard line is the line to gain for the first down. Again, Webster's going to take the ball, snaps, and hands it off to Porter. Porter able to get 4 yards on that second down carry, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 11.
I think at this point, if you're the Guilford Viking coaching staff, you're pretty much okay with running the ball and just trying to bleed the clock dry and get out of here with a W.
It'll be 3rd down.
Weber staying in at quarterback as ball now spotted at the 16-yard line here for the Vikings. Clock winds down inside 8.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter. This time going shotgun once again. 3 receivers off to the left, including one way towards the sidelines. Weber takes the snap. He's just going to hand this ball off to Porter. Porter's got a big crease up the middle, staying tough. Good hard run for Chris Porter. Only able to pick up 10. He needed 11. It'll be about a half a yard to gain for the first down. And I think Guilford's going to be staying out here on offense.
Yeah, they're going to keep Weber in. They normally bring in their other quarterback for the run. We'll see what they do here.
Yeah, we saw Lindhe convert that conversion earlier in the ballgame in the second quarter. This time Weber going under center. Everybody in tight on both sides. Weber takes a snap. He is going to push up the middle, and he has got plenty of yardage, and we'll wait for the spot. He's going to be marked down just shy of the goal line, all the way down to around the 2-yard line. Thought he might have had the touchdown for a second, but a great push up front by this O-line. And Guilford just 2 yards shy of pay dirt.
And another Belvidere Buck going down.
The gain was good enough for a Viking first down.
Bit unfortunate here,
First down for the Vikings.
as cramps have been an issue all night for this Bucs squad, who looked really good in that first half. But we got to say, Nate, you know, the way that they've looked here today, you know, you got to think they're going to put up some solid fights against some of the other teams in conference. And I think they've got a shot to win a couple of games here as we move throughout the season.
Yeah, I think they're much improved. Coach Ambrogio is doing a great job. I think their numbers hurt them a little bit tonight. Maybe the weather didn't play into their hands, being a little short-handed as far as guys on the team. But the fight's still there. They haven't quit. They're doing a great job.
So after the injury timeout, Weber in shotgun, this time flanked on either side by a running back, including Marquarius Suggs to his right side, who gets the ball. He's bounced to the outside, and a fantastic tackle, and that one's going to be on the turf. A fumble. Belvidere recovers. A great tackle, great strip, and Belvidere will take over in what looked like Guilford was about to put the finishing touches on this ball game. Belvidere all of a sudden has new life as they take over. About 7 minutes left to go in this ball game. They've really got to go quick. They've got to go fast, and they've got to score now.
Yeah, but like we just stated, you know, it's a great example of not quitting. The defensive side, guys are sprinting after the ball, going for the strip, get a turnover here, finish the night on a high note, go into next week feeling a little better about yourself.
So that'll be set up 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line for Belvidere. Verenma in the huddle. They really would love to get some points here if you're Belvidere, both coaching staff and players. You want to go out of this game on a high note. We'll see what they can do here on their second drive of the half. Renma takes a snap. He's going to hand this ball off to the running back. That is, couldn't quite make out the number. Looks like that was number 3, Arturo Alvarez, and he is swallowed up almost immediately. Back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the first down run. Brings up 2nd and 10.
And once again, Keeson Taylor, the freshman at the defensive end, just swallowing guys up as they try and hit the outside. This kid's going to be a player.
Doing that as a freshman has been impressive. It's not the first time we've called his name tonight on defense. And whenever you can make an impression week 1 as a freshman, you know you might have something pretty special for the next 4 years. After that first down run, Varenma in the shotgun. He's going to take the ball, hands it off to number 11. That's Villarreal. And he has driven back to around the 5-yard line. Just nothing there. Guilford's really playing on the front foot on the defensive line here tonight in this third quarter. And looks like we have a man down for Guilford. Can't quite make out the number, but an excellent showing here, Nate, for this defensive line here in the second half and the first half, really. They have not allowed anything on the ground for the Bucs here tonight. So we saw a couple of good passing plays for Belvidere, especially in that second quarter when it looked like they were primed in position to potentially get into the end zone. Fortunately, that fumble, as we mentioned earlier, really kind of cut out their momentum. That was really one of the big turning points here in tonight's ballgame.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's a good start for the Belvidere Bucs, seeing where they finished last year, continuing to fight. Guys are still out there working hard. They're just right now a little short-handed. Hopefully, as the year goes on, they can continue to get better.
And for Coach Ambrosio, you know, that's kind of what you want to see in your third year of coaching, especially coming into a program that really hasn't had a lot of success in high school football in about 5 or 6 years. You know, a third year of your coaching regime, that's really the time where you want to show something. And I think tonight and I think throughout this season that's something that he's going to show. Varenma in the shotgun. He's going to take this ball. He's going to hand it off to the outside. That is number 8 taking the carry, Cervantes. And he is only able to get 2 back to the original line of scrimmage. 2, maybe 3 yards on that carry. So we are now 5.5 minutes left to go here in this ball game. And it looks like Belvidere is going to have to punt this ball away once again.
I tell you, it's impressive for the G-Vikes on the defensive side of the ball. Once that first guy gets him, there's just a swarm of Viking defenders coming to gang tackle him up.
Yeah, we'll see if their defense can be as swarming throughout the rest of the season as they have been tonight. It's been an impressive display for the guys up front. It's what you want to see in week 1. Their rush defense has put in absolute lockdown here on this Belvidere squad.
Guilford has Hansard back to receive in case there is a punt.
Varenma standing in his own end zone. As it looks like there was some confusion here on this Belvidere special teams unit.
Another delay again.
I think we have another delay game, although we mentioned it, you know, you don't want to take the penalties, but especially when you're back up this far inside your own territory, you know, you might just want to take those 4.5 yards worth penalty and just make sure you got everybody in for protection so you're able to kick this ball away. Penalty to move the ball back to around the 3-yard line, maybe the 2-yard line. Varenma takes the ball, punts it away. This one's a pretty good punt. Touches down around the 32, picked up around the 31. He's got plenty of space on the right side. Flag down. He goes into the end zone untouched. That was Grayson Weber. No, excuse me. Couldn't quite make out the number.
That was Mr. Hansard.
Gregory Hansard. We do have a penalty on the play.
Not sure what the call is. I didn't see anything egregious.
I didn't see anything there either, but Hansard able to take that ball. He was not touched. In fact, there was nobody within 5 yards of him as he just took that ball, sprinted to the outside, and that might be why there's going to be a hold on the Guilford special teams unit. So that wipes out the touchdown. Still a nice return by Hansard, but this Guilford offense will have a shot once more to show if they can punch this ball in. And if you're the coaching staff, you know, you really want your freshman, Grayson Weber, to lead a touchdown drive, as he has not done so yet here tonight, even though he's looked pretty good.
I'll tell you what, the Guilford coaching staff really has to be impressed and happy with Mr. Weber. He hasn't even attended a high school class yet, and he's come out and had a night like tonight. That's something special.
That's a real good way to get your teammates to buy in. You come out week one, you're really new and you're buying into the system and you're playing pretty well. Lindhe here is in the shotgun as he's going to hand the ball off to number 8, I believe. Yes, indeed. That's Primus once more. Primus, excuse me. 3 yards on that first down carry. 2nd and 7 as we approach 4 minutes left to go here in the ballgame.
It's a gain of 3. 2nd down.
Guilford looking to just bleed this clock out as they have a couple of first downs available to them. We'll see if they want to punch this ball in. Xavier Lindhe in the quarterback position here. As everybody will be in tight here for Guilford. 4 receivers, 2 tight to the formation on either side. Lindhe under center. Motion man, that's number 4 who gets the ball on the quick handoff. And Marion Chapman as
Chapman, the ball carrier.
I'm saying the Belvidere player is looking for a fumble. I don't believe they're going to get it. They're going to say yes, no, they will not. No fumble. So Marion Chapman, they'll give him the 20-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5. 3 minutes left to go in the ballgame. Here's Lindhe once again in the shotgun formation. 3 receivers off to the left. 1 running back off his left hip. Takes the ball, hands it off. This is Primus once again, and he's got a big crease up the middle. Again, this Guilford offensive line just busting holes wide open as this middle running game for the Guilford Vikings this half has really proved to be effective as they're just shy of 200 yards on the ballgame.
Mendoza, game was good enough for a first down.
Primus up at 75 as Guilford going quickly. Lindhe takes a snap. This one's going to be handed off once again to Primus. And Primus is going to go in for 6. Another touchdown for the Guilford Vikings. Isaiah Primus with the 4th touchdown of the ball game for Guilford as they have been in control in this second half. Their 3rd touchdown of the half. That brings the score up to 28-0 with the try still to go.
I'll tell you what, really impressive for Isaiah Primus. Coming off a summer where he injured his foot, and he actually missed quite a bit of off-season work in the summer because of it. Didn't stop him from working hard and getting back where he needed to be, and here he is tonight putting up the numbers.
And he's really been one of their best backs. They've had a couple of guys here run the ball, but whenever they've gone up the middle here tonight, Guilford, Primus has really been the key guy as the extra point is up, and it will be no good.
Try for the PAT is no good.
For Guilford, that one just a little bit short. But that will bring the score 28-0. Guilford has been in control, as we said, here throughout the second half of the ball game. 3 touchdowns here in the second, including 2 in the third, now just 1 in the fourth. And now there's about 2.5 minutes left to go in the ball game, and this might be a time where you get some of your younger guys a little bit more experience. Although for Guilford, it's really been their younger guys that have made impact plays here tonight.
Yeah, their skill positions, they look pretty locked in for the next 3 to 4 years. An exciting time to be a Guilford Viking.
As for Belvidere, you've had quite a number of cramp injuries. Doesn't appear to be anything serious. But if you're the Buck coaching staff, you still want to run your offense. You still want to go down and get some points before the end of the game. But you might want to tell your guys, hey, let's be smart. Let's not get injured. Let's get out of here with the rest of our bodies intact. Regroup for next week. We'll see what coaching staff has to do for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, 9-week season. It's a war of attrition.
Everybody up tight here for Belvidere, expecting another short kick by Guilford. Official whistles the ball ready for play. This one is going to be kicked and taken in there. Nice hands team play there that time. That is number 84. Don't have his name on our roster, but a good play that time.
The kick is recovered by number 84, Landon Van Acker for the Bucs.
Landon Van Acker with the kickoff return, as we'll call it. And Belvidere will be set up 2 yards shy of midfield. And we'll see if Belvidere can go down and potentially get a touchdown here before the end of the game. So there's nothing you'd like more than to go out of this game on a high note and perhaps bring some momentum into next week's matchup. Varenma still out there at quarterback. Again, ball set at the 48-yard line. 2 receivers either side of the formation. This one's going to be handed off. No, it's going to be pulled out by Varenma. Varenma's got some space to the right side. He's out to the 40, down to the 37-yard line. There is a penalty flag behind the play, however. Biggest run of the ball game by Varenma, and it looks like it may be coming back given the body language of some of these Bucs. Yes, indeed.
Against the Bucs.
That might be why that play was sprung so wide open.
Well, those right there are just backbreakers. You get a 20-some yard gain. Next thing you know, you're walking it back.
2 minutes, 21 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, Guilford leads by a score of 28-0. They have put up 3 touchdowns here in the second half of play, including 2 touchdown passes by Xavier Lindhe. Belvidere looking to finish out this game strong, possibly their final drive of the ball game. Varenma in the shotgun takes this one. He's going to hand the ball off, and that is Cervantes, who was swallowed up immediately. There's really no push up front by Belvidere. You can really tell from up here in the press box, Nate, that their offensive line is just tired.
Yeah, it's been a long night for the Bucs. Good start in the first half, hanging with them. Seems like they've just kind of gotten gassed as the game's going on.
After the loss, clock running now, under 2 minutes left to go here in the ball game. 2nd and 16. As after that loss, Belvidere now with just 1 net yard on the ground here tonight. Had some positive plays in the first half, but this second half rush defense for the Guilford Vikings has been outstanding, as they look to finish strong and finish off the shutout. Varenma in the pistol formation. Number 11 comes in motion this time. A bit of a triple option, a reverse, handed off to number 5, Jason Dean. That one did not work as well as Belvidere would have liked.
And once again, we call the name Keeson Taylor on the tackle.
He read that play off the get-go, had the pursuit on the strong side, and was able to meet Dean about as soon as he got that ball. Another impressive play by this freshman defender. Clock under 1 minute now. We might have enough time for one more play. Don't think either team wants to extend this ball game any further than it needs to be. We'll see if Belvidere has one big play in them. As we wind down this game, 35 seconds left to go. Still in the huddle waiting for the play call. We're going to have a timeout called by Belvidere, as they may just want to discuss possibly running this clock out here tonight. So, Nate, you know, we saw this second half of football really dominated by Guilford. First half a little bit sloppy, but we knew they had that in them. You know, they really just, again, we mentioned those self-imposed mistakes that first half. It was penalty after penalty after penalty. Second half, where they really cleaned it up. They were able to go down, drive down the field, 3 touchdowns, and their defense also played really outstanding. And I think that's kind of the team we were expecting to see here after a very solid season last year.
Yeah, I think Guilford's got a chance to have another good year. They're going to have to address some of the issues in the trenches, being able to protect the quarterback, especially if you got a freshman out there. But I think skill position-wise, they're just about as good as anybody in the conference. They got a lot of speed on the outside. If this freshman continues to grow and be as good as he can in the backfield at quarterback, with that 3-headed monster they have in the backfield at running back, it could be a good year for the G-Vikes.
Here's Varenma once more. Should be the last play of the ball game. 31.5 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Varenma takes the high snap. Bit of a busted play. He just goes down to the turf. And that is likely to do it, as yes, indeed. Waiting to see if there's any timeouts. I don't think Guilford's going to call one.
And we're going to get you one final score update. Harlem Huskies 12, Auburn Knights 6 for the final.
So a close game there between the Huskies and the Knights. Not so much here, as Guilford's going to win this ball game by a score of 28-0, as the Vikings use a strong second half of football to pull this game out and win by 4 scores here tonight. So, Nate, I know I got your final thoughts there on Guilford. We talked about them. You know, they're looking for 6 wins. 5 will usually get you into the playoffs in the NIC-10, but if you're Guilford, you're really shooting for that 6 just to make sure you get in. And I think they certainly have the look of a team that they could go back to the postseason once again.
Yeah, I think they got a lot of potential to get there. You know, high school football, a lot of it has to do with staying healthy as the year goes on. If they can continue to do that and then strengthen up in the trenches, I think their skill positions are pretty set. Defensively, we'll see how they handle some of the larger teams in the conference, but I think they got a really high ceiling.
And as for Belvidere, you know, this game, the scoreboard, I don't think does them justice. You know, they played really well in that first half. A couple of mistakes in the second half. A lot of them we think were really, you know, exacerbated by the lack of depth. A lot of guys going down with cramps. But there's definitely some positives, and I think that they're a team that can easily, you know, grab a couple of wins from some of the other teams in conference here this season.
Yeah, I think Coach Ambrosio's got it going in the right direction if they can just stay together and continue to grow as a group. I know they got a larger number at their younger levels, so if those guys can stay together and continue to commit to what Coach Ambrosio is selling them, I think they'll be all right in the near future.
And one final note on this ball game, Nate, I'm just going to ask you to name. Let's hear your player of the game. You know, there's a couple of guys I think we've talked about, but I think there's one guy on defense for those Guilford Vikings that you had your eye on all night.
Well, I think you saw a lot out of the freshman Keeson Taylor coming in with about 3 or 4 tackles for loss. I thought Isaiah Primus coming out of the backfield, I think he ended up with over 80 yards and a touchdown. And then I think the dual threat at quarterback, you got a little bit of a runner, and then you got a guy throwing some nice balls in the freshman. So there's a lot of different aspects to look at, but I think they got a lot to look forward to.
All right, so again, the final score, Guilford takes down Belvidere by a score of 28-0. So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us here this evening for tonight's ball game. Very special thanks to the Belvidere High School and their athletic director, Josh Sternquist, as well as all of the members of our production crew that made tonight's broadcast possible. Again, if you want to see pictures and highlights from tonight's game, be sure to check us out at Clutch Sports Media 815 on Instagram and Twitter. For my partner, Nate Green, this is Trevor Larson signing off and wishing you all a very good evening.